Hi everyone, my name is Wayne Wallace and welcome to the Success Coaching Call and Webinar. I'm super excited because today I'm going to be sharing some cool stuff with you that you can use immediately to improve your life and your business and move the needle in a positive direction towards reaching your goals. Every week I seek to learn some new things that are related to becoming more successful and share them with you here on the call and webinar. Maybe you've already heard these things in the past, or maybe it'll be something new that you've never heard before. And maybe you'll hear something that you need to hear again. I know with myself, sometimes I hear things, over and over, and maybe I'm not quite in the right space to hear them. And then one point in time I am, and I take action on that thing and implement it. So hopefully you're in that space and you'll hear something today that you need to hear again. So today I'm going to be sharing my screen with you. I'm going to be showing you some slides. This is a dial-in phone webinar, but you can also dial in over the web and watch the slides. So if you are not participating in the webinar, don't worry about it. I'll explain everything that's on my screen so you can participate in just the phone call part of it. But if you'd like to see the slides, then just go to my website, which is waynewallace.com. Click on the live broadcast menu item, and there you'll find a link that you can use to join me on the live webinar. You can do that every Sunday at 3 p.m. That's when I do these live broadcasts. And of course, they're always recorded, so you can watch them later on my YouTube channel. Or you can also find them in the Facebook group. Just go to Facebook and search for Success Coaching with Wayne Wallace, and you'll find my group. Just ask to be added to that group. It's a private group, and I'll add you to that group. So let's jump right into the webinar today. First of all, I'd like to congratulate you and acknowledge you for being here. You are part of the 5% Club. If you've listened to any of my daily podcasts, you'll hear me say this all the time. Only 5% of the public does anything to take steps to improve themselves on a daily basis. So I applaud you for being here today and watching this webinar or listening to the call. You are part of the 5% Club. So what's on our agenda for today? Well, we're going to talk about the Matrix and how it applies to you and your life. You know, the movie The Matrix, I'm sure you've seen it. If you haven't, definitely go see that movie. It's a great movie. And then I'm going to talk to you about the 30-day challenge. And then I'm going to talk to you about how to face your fears. So before we do that, I want to remind you about a task I gave you last week, an assignment. And maybe you did it, maybe you didn't. So I'm going to remind you about it. A lot of people say to me, oh, I don't have time, I'm so busy, I don't have time to do this or that, and they make excuses for themselves. And a lot of people don't realize how much time they actually waste. So a simple activity is to just get out a notepad or a notebook or do it on your phone and track your activities for the week. Track how much time you spend doing whatever you do, whether it's commuting or working or watching TV or exercising or playing around on Facebook. Just record the activity and how much time you spend, and then tally it up at the end of the week. And you'll see probably big blocks of time that you could replace with something else. So if you didn't do that task yet, go ahead and do that this week. So our first thing that I want to talk to you about here is the Matrix. And I'm going to assume you've seen the movie. So if you haven't, go watch it. So in the movie, Neo has already kind of been introduced to the Matrix, and he's actually in the Matrix with Morpheus in a scenario. And he's on the street, and he's walking down the street, and Morpheus is explaining what the Matrix is to Neo, because he's still not quite sure what it is. Even though he's taken the pill, he's gone through the process of regeneration, and now he's in the Matrix, or he's been pulled out of the Matrix, really. So now he's back in the Matrix electronically. And Morpheus says to him, the Matrix is a system, Neo. That system is our enemy. When you're inside and look around, what do you see? You see businessmen, teachers, lawyers, carpenters, the very minds of the people we're trying to save. And that is how I want to set the stage for what we're going to talk about today. You are in the Matrix. The Matrix has you. And I'm going to try and save you from the Matrix. I am Morpheus. Okay? That's our scenario that I've laid out for you today. So before I jump into this, what I'd like you to do is answer a few questions for me. And, you know, as I go through this webinar today, I want you to take notes and then go back and watch The Matrix with a different set of eyes and a different mindset. Maybe the first couple times you watched it just for entertainment value. But go back and watch it with the information that I'm about to give you and see how it applies to our everyday life, because The Matrix has a lot of symbolism in it, and I think when they created this movie, they created it knowing about all this stuff. That's just my theory. And there's a lot of websites out there that you can go look at and, you know, read people's opinions about what it means and what it stands for. Okay? So the question I have, or the questions I have for you, is see if you can complete these popular sayings that are well known. Go to school and get a good job, right? A penny saved is a penny earned. Save money and buy a house, right? These are all popular sayings that have been drilled into us by society or our parents or, you know, just people in general. And I'm going to tell you something that's going to be hard for you to hear. They're all lies and propaganda designed to keep you in the Matrix and make other people lots of money. And I'm not going to take the time to explain all that, but I will over time. And I can give you sources that you can go look at and find out that this is true. But I want to help break you out of this matrix and help you to start seeing things in a different way and help you make a lot of money. So the next screen here is labeled propaganda for our audio listeners. And there's a picture of a cityscape. I'm not sure what city it is. It looks like New York or some big city, and lots of people running around, you know, kind of like, you know, lots of chaos. And I have a quote here, and I'm going to read this quote to you. And it's a pretty long one, so just pay attention. The size of the lie is a definite factor in causing it to be believed, for the vast masses of a nation are in the depths of their hearts more easily deceived than they are consciously and intentionally bad. The primitive simplicity of their minds renders them more easily prey to a big lie than a small one, for they themselves often tell little lies, but would be ashamed to tell a big one. Pretty interesting quote. And you may or may not who said that. And I'm going to tell you, it was Hitler. Okay? Hitler was big on propaganda, and he took advantage of this knowledge of knowing that people are easily deceived, and there's a thing called I forget the name of it right now. I'll talk about it in a minute. It's on one of my next slides. I'm getting ahead of myself. But we're being lied to every day. There's propaganda everywhere you look. Everything from shows on TV and the type of programming they have to nightly news and news organizations, whether they be websites or print, magazines. They all have a certain agenda, and they all participate in a certain propaganda. And it's all about making money for certain corporations. And they're all working together to make you believe certain things. So I want to tell you a little story about crabs and cockroaches. And this is by, I heard it from Les Brown, you know, big motivational speaker. And, you know, I'll kind of tell it the way he does, probably not exactly, but I'll paraphrase it. So if you ever analyzed crabs and cockroaches and you put them all in a bucket, not all together, separately, you'll notice as one tries to crawl out, the other ones reach up and grab them and pull them back down. And this is just a constant thing. Every time one tries to crawl up the edge, the other one grabs them and pulls them down, because they're trying to pull themselves up to be higher than the other one. And they never get anywhere. They never get out of the bucket, because they always keep on pulling themselves down. And the people around you will unknowingly try and pull you down. And you may want to go do something and they may not agree with it, and they may say, oh, you're crazy, and they may put you down for wanting to do these things because they're believing in the lies they've been told over time. And it's not that they're bad people, like the quote said, you know, that they are consciously and unintentionally, they're not bad, right? Normally people aren't bad, but they believe these lies, and they'll try and pull you down and say, no, you're fine as you are. You don't have to do that, you know, like your mother. Your mother loves you just as you are. You don't have to become a better person or do better things. She's going to say, oh, no, I love you just the way you are. Well, maybe you want to go become something better, and, you know, unknowingly she's pulling you down, right? So, and I'm going to prove it to you. This is the way, you know, the way it is. We've been told these lies for a long time, and the system, as Morpheus puts it, wants to feed you lies just for their own benefit. So, to bring it back to the Matrix, if you remember in the Matrix, anybody that's in the Matrix, that's hardwired into the Matrix, is usable and expendable. Just like when they want to transport, when the agent wants to transport themselves to a location to find, say, Neo, they'll find someone that's nearby him and then take over that person's body. And then they'll become that person until that person gets shot, and then they transform out, and that person's dead on the street. So the people in the Matrix are expendable, and that is basically us as well. We are expendable in the process of these organizations and people that have agendas that want to control us. So here's the father of it all, Mr. Edward Bernays. He's called the father of public relations. And he was born in 1891. He is the nephew of Sigmund Freud, the guy that basically famous for, you know, in the psychology world and psychoanalysis. And he learned from his uncle, who described the masses as irrational and subject to the herd instinct. And he outlined in his books and his writings how skilled practitioners could use the crowd psychology and psychoanalysis to control them in desirable ways. So Edward Bernays took this knowledge and he founded basically the public relations industry. And today that industry is all around us. It's used by governments and companies and corporations to control the masses and take advantage of crowd psychology. That's the phrase I was looking for earlier. And herd instinct. And, you know, if something's popular, everybody goes to it, right? Like Facebook. Everybody loves Facebook. Everybody's on Facebook. Well, they're using Facebook to control people. You know, yeah, it looks fun. You can post stuff and do all this fun stuff on it, but really it's about the herd instinct and crowd control and mind control. So Bernays, he's had many accomplishments. He was named one of the most 100 influential Americans of the 20th century by Life magazine. And he's famous for several different campaigns with corporations and governments. One of his campaigns in 1929 was to make smoking more popular, because back then smoking wasn't popular among women necessarily, and the tobacco companies wanted to sell more cigarettes, of course, and they wanted to make smoking appeal to females. So they hired Edward to develop a campaign to make smoking more popular. And it was called Torches of Freedom, and he attached smoking cigarettes to the feminist movement, and also the color green. The cigarettes that were popular at that time, Lucky Strike, were green. The wrapper was green. And they found that women didn't really like the color green, but they didn't want to change the color. So they said, we have to change the minds of the women. So they went to the fashion industry and they convinced them to start using the same color green in their new color, their new line of clothing for the year. And they subliminally basically told women that this color green is good. Okay, and then they had green sashes on the women that marched and smoked cigarettes while they were marching in the parade. And it was a big, big campaign. And then what happened is women started smoking, and it was a very popular thing. He was also connected with the overthrow of the Guatemalan government in 1954 by helping a fruit company. And I don't know all the details of it, but you can look up videos online and learn all about this. This is all documented stuff. Also, I found another interesting story. What is the common American breakfast? Well, you probably automatically thought of bacon and eggs, right? Or maybe even pancakes. Well, in the 1920s, the American breakfast was really pretty simple and light. It was maybe some coffee and toast, maybe some fruit, maybe some orange juice, but it wasn't a heavy, hearty breakfast with bacon and eggs, right? Or an omelet, or, you know, all this stuff that we've come up with now, you know, like, you know, sausage and biscuits and all this kind of stuff. Well, we have Edward Bernays to thank for that, because there was a packaging company that came to him and said, hey, we want to start selling more bacon. Can you help us do that? So Edward Bernays went to a doctor that he knew, pretty famous doctor, and he said, hey, do you agree that a hearty breakfast is a good thing? Better than a light breakfast, because you know, at sleeping at night, you burn a lot of energy, and in the morning you need a hearty breakfast to get that energy level back up. And the doctor said, well, sure, I could agree with that. And he said, hey, do you mind sending out a survey to all your 5,000 doctor friends and ask them if they agree with your finding? And he said, sure, I could do that, because he probably was getting a little bit of money on the side, you know. And so they got this big survey of 5,000 doctors that said a hearty breakfast was better than a light breakfast. And he used this information along with lots of advertising and campaigns on radio and print, and he said that having a hearty breakfast consisting of bacon and eggs was a good thing for you and much better than a light breakfast of coffee and toast. And what do you know? Now we all eat bacon and eggs for breakfast to this day. So I found that pretty interesting that, you know, he is responsible for the way we still eat breakfast. So he died in 1995. He was 103, and there's many YouTube videos about him. You can search and hear his words, him speaking on film about these campaigns that he was involved with. And many media and big corporate companies and governments hired him to help them make you think and believe the things that they wanted you to. So that's the truth. And it's kind of like being in the Matrix, right? Because the Matrix is just this facade, this digital world that's all around you in the movie. So I want to help break you out of that. And there's no better way to do it than take the 30-day no negativity challenge. So for you audio listeners, I've got a TV screen on my screen, and it's off. It's blank. There's no image on it. So what I would challenge you to do for the next 30 days, for all of December, is to turn off the TV, turn off the news, turn off the talk radio stations, don't visit news websites, avoid negative people in your life, avoid negative talk, avoid negative thoughts, and fill that time with positive stuff. You could listen to my Daily Success podcast. You could listen to other podcasts. It's really going to help you. I was talking with a person last week, and they were feeling down and, you know, kind of depressed, and they didn't know, you know, what they wanted to do with their life. And this is the advice I gave them. I said, well, just turn off the negativity channel and start putting good stuff in your mind and tell me how you feel in 30 days. So I'm going to read to you the news headlines for today. And I want you to tell me how you feel after I read these headlines to you. These are real headlines that I went and got a little while ago. I just brought up a web browser and typed, you know, headline news. And these are actual headlines. And this is what the media is pushing daily. So here we go. NBC is erasing all memory of Matt Lauer. The Devil and O.J. Simpson. Vikings versus Falcons. After a high drama vote, here's what the Senate tax bill means. The most dangerous species found in the world. U.S. stealth jets arrive in South Korea as rhetoric heats up. Alabama over Ohio State in final AP regular season poll. SNL Baldwin Trump gets a Christmas Carol from Flynn. The U.S. is running out of options to stop North Korea. Oh no. I just added that oh no part. Forever 21 is getting sued over a hidden camera in bathroom. Turkey's Erdogan says he will not succumb to U.S. blackmail. Winter revenge, Arctic plunge to hold grip on the eastern U.S. Highlights of Senate House GOP bill to overhaul tax code. Guess who's about to go bankrupt in America? U.S. quits UN Global Compact on migration. The women of SNL singing anti-sexual harassment anthem. Opera to investigate conductor over sexual abuse accusation. Former Giants may wear Manning's jersey to game versus Cowboys. Operative offered Trump campaign Kremlin connection. Jeez, how do you feel after hearing all this? It was draining just reading them and putting them together for this webinar. I mean, there's nothing good in there, nothing at all. It's all negative. It's all, just propaganda that they want you to believe. A lot of that may not even be true. Okay, there may be some element of truth to it, but the headline is just designed to make you feel and think a certain way. There's no nice puppy stories there. There's no nice success stories there. There's no winner stories there. It's all bad stuff. But what do most people do first thing in the morning and throughout the day and before bed? They tune into the news on the TV or on their phone or on their radio. So take the 30-day no negativity challenge. Turn it all off and start replacing it with positive podcasts. Read a book on how to become a better person. Maybe decide to learn a new skill. Watch some videos about winners and people that do amazing things. Like if you go on YouTube and search for people are amazing or something to that effect, you'll find tons and tons of videos of people doing amazing feats of athletics. Find a mastermind group of positive people that you can hang out with and discuss positive things. Sit down with family and friends and talk about this idea of having a 30-day no negativity challenge. And I guarantee if you do this, you will have a great December and move into 2018 with a whole new attitude. And let me know how that works out for you, because I think you'll definitely find that it helps you. So my next slide here is a gentleman looking kind of sad, sitting by the window, you can't see his face, but you can tell he's not feeling too good about himself. And my title on this slide is, do you want more from life? Are you tired? Are you tired of wasting your time? Do you feel like you're wasting your time? Do you want more? Do you want to be challenged? Are you bored with your job and you're not being challenged at work? Do you feel like you're a slave to someone else's, dreams and desires? And do you want to do something that you're more passionate about? Well, my next slide says face your fears. And there's a young lady riding in a like a carnival ride, and she's high up in the air and she's having a blast. She's just laughing, and her hands are up and the hair's blowing in the wind, and she's having a good old time. And some people would never get on a ride like that because they're too afraid. And there's a lot of things that people are afraid of doing. And what I want you to do is just make a decision to do something that you're afraid of. It's most likely a positive thing. So even if it's not a positive thing in general, it will be a positive thing that you took action in the face of your fears and you did something that you were scared of and you pushed through it and you accomplished it. So here's 4 easy steps that you can use to help you face your fears. First of all, you have to believe. You have to believe that you can do whatever it is, like public speaking. People say that public speaking is one of the worst fears in the world that people have next to dying. It's like number one, right? I mean, people fear dying less than they do public speaking. And so first of all, you got to believe in yourself that you can do it. So it all starts with belief. And then you need to challenge yourself. You need to say, okay, I'm going to do this. You're going to commit to it. Make it a public statement. Tell your family, tell your friends that you're going to do this. Okay? You have to let the world know that you're going to do this to keep you accountable. And then step 3 is you need to take action. Start learning, start practicing, start doing that thing. You may not be great at it. Like when I first started this podcast and webinar stuff, it's something that I wanted to do for a long time, but I just didn't face my fear and do it. And there's really nothing to be scared of, So you screw up and you say something wrong. Big deal. Like nobody's going to hear it anyway, right? You can delete it. You can re-record it. Okay? So take that action. Take that first step. And then focus on improving daily. Take little steps and improve daily. Like I've improved my webinars and my podcast every day or every week since I've started. So you can do it no matter what it is. If you want to start doing public speaking, then your first one may not be that good. But if you keep on going at it and keep on analyzing what you did before and seeing how you can improve it, then you're probably going to improve. Okay? So those are the 4 easy steps. 1, believe. 2, challenge yourself. 3, take action. And 4, improve daily. So I've got an action step for you. I've got this great class coming up in just 4 days, December 7th. It's a free 2018 marketing planning class. Now it says marketing, but it doesn't have to be about marketing a business. It's just basically a planning class. And if you want to get something done in your life, whether you have a business or not, then you should be in this class. This is a great class for anyone that either has a business or wants to start a business, or maybe you're just a housewife and you want to make things better around the house. So start this planning class with me on December 7th. There's a link on my screen, but for you audio listeners, I'm going to tell you the URL. Okay? So it's a short URL. It's a Google short URL. You may have seen those before. So it starts with your normal https:// and then it's goo.gl. That's a Google short link if you've never seen one of those before. And they all start the same, goo.gl / and this is case sensitive. So it's lowercase r, uppercase L, uppercase D, lowercase c, lowercase w, uppercase z. And I'll say that again from the beginning. It's goo.gl / lowercase r, uppercase L, uppercase D, lowercase c, lowercase w, uppercase z. So go ahead and get registered. It's a free class. I mean, you can't beat free, right? My mentor and coach, Eric Lofholm, puts on this class every year. I think he's probably got about 1,000 people registered for it so far, and that number is probably growing by the day because all of his proteges, which I'm one, are promoting this class, and he's promoting it as well. So go ahead and get involved with that. It's a great time. Next, I want to offer you a chance to get involved with a mastermind group. As I said earlier, you need to find a mastermind group. Well, I've got a great one for you. And it's a special coaching program that I put together. It's a group coaching program. So the website for this is mih.team. That's T-E-A-M. And yes, that's a website. It's not a .com. It's a .team. So go to mih.team and you can check out the Make It Happen. That's what MIH stands for. The Make It Happen Success Coaching Program. So this is a great program that I've developed. We're going to kick it off in January, and it's going to be a great group, mastermind group, where we can all come together and learn from each other and coach each other, keep each other accountable. And if you need something like this, then I invite you to take part in it. Also, I want to announce that this is free for high school students. So if you know any kids that are in school, tell them about this, because when I was a high school kid, I didn't have anything like this. And I figured, what better way to mentor and coach some people that are in high school is to just offer this for free. So let your friends and family know, if they have kids in high school, they can participate in this for free. So, as I said earlier, you need to take small steps each day to improve yourself. And you can do that by calling into the Daily Success Podcast. So just go to dailysuccesspodcast.com. You can listen to the previous past episodes. And then every day I try and come to you with a little golden nugget of information that you can use to help you become a better person every day. You can also download the Anchor.fm app, and you can call in to the podcast and leave me a message, ask questions, give me feedback, or just share your success stories. So I'd love for you to do that. And then just because you are here on this webinar or on this call, I want to offer you a free success coaching session with me. So just go to my website, successcoachingwithwayne.com, and register for your free personal success coaching session. If you'd like to reach out to me by phone or email, here's my information. The number that you can call or text me at is 702-238-9413, or you can email me at wayne@waynewallace.com. And then I'd like to invite you to stay in the conversation throughout the week. We have a Facebook group. Just search for Success Coaching with Wayne on Facebook and ask to be added to that group. And then you can also get on my text update list if you text the word Shazam to 38470. So just take out your texting app and text the word Shazam to the number 38470. And then last but not least, I want your feedback. I want to know how I did. And I've got a little survey form on my website. So you can go to waynewallace.com, look for the How Did I Do menu item, and you can take that survey. I'll get that information. So be as blunt and honest as you want, and I will take that information and try and improve my webinars and conference calls here. So until next time, have a success-filled day.